ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track, and ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my bets in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus and present in select states.
Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about comic books, costumes, facts, boots, and other stuff. In this week's issue, World's Finest Wednesday.
Welcome into another World's Finest Wednesday edition of Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the marvelous one, the man who knows his way around a rotary dial, Mr. Mike.
That's it. Yeah, boy, you ain't kidding. Hey, I'm reading an email here.
Okay. Congrats.
Let me tell you. It seemed very important when I got it.
Yeah.
It is. It's from Pizza Hut.
Okay. Well, it seemed okay. Please continue.
Mission Cheesy Bites is a go.
Oh,
is what it says. This is part of a larger, I guess, campaign that they're running. Mission Delectable.
Okay.
With a rocket ship emoji and a pizza emoji following it.
Not a sponsor.
Right, not a sponsor.
But if they want to be.
But you can get Cheesy Bites pizza that is officially landed at Pizza Hut, and it's bringing some serious flavor to your taste buds.
Okay, well, yeah, that's not as important.
That's all I got for you.
This is Bros, Foes, and Heroes.
Look at that right there. You see that?
That's Mike. The people who are listening can't see Mike hold a pizza up to the video, but you can watch us on YouTube if not, or subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Also, feel free, if you want to give us recommendations. Our email's right there in the link below.
Or on pizza. Either way.
Bros, Foes, and Heroes @gmail.com. Or also leave a comment. Give us a like. Let us know what you think.
Because we all know Hawaiian pizza is the best, right?
I love pineapple on pizza. Do you?
No, it's awful.
And that is why we are the perfect odd couple.
That's true.
I feel like you're more Walter Matthau and I'm Jack Lemmon.
So, wow, just went out there and gave that to yourself, huh?
Are you offended that I didn't make you Jack Lemmon? By the way, Walter,
I don't care.
By the way, the luncheon I went to today, which like only 2 people will get this who watch this and know that I went to a luncheon, especially since a week later. Walter Matthau was brought up. So
was he?
There you go. Yeah.
By the man who was part of the luncheon?
Well, so Rudy T talked about being punched in the face. You know, the whole
Ticklestein is his last name, right? Rudy Ticklestein?
Yeah, no. But he talked about the whole incident, and it was in L.A., and he talked about when he came through, the first person he saw on the sideline was Walter Matthau.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
So anyway,
no, I would just let me just exalt my point here. That wasn't a word, but Pizza Hut has started to make pizza into bites.
Why are we still on the pizza?
So they're taking away even the.
I'm trying to keep this. We're losing people if they turn into this.
They're taking away even the tearing of the pizza or the biting of the pizza. They're going to go ahead and form the bites.
They're going to make it easier for you.
Next, it's just going to be pizza mush.
It's idiocracy, essentially.
Yes. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm done. Goodbye.
All right. So what we have, our World's Finest Wednesday, if this is your first time joining us, we have shows that come out on Monday, which are usually a little bit longer and can range across everything in the world of comics. The one that we covered this last Monday, I did for Mike's birthday because, I was trying to be nice, and we covered Silver Surfer Parable. So you can go back and look 90. At that. Yeah.
It was the best.
It was a big one. But our Wednesday ones are usually focused more on Silver Age stuff or just kind of that era. We've been covering a lot from a Batman annual, which technically the annual is printed in the Silver Age, but it's Golden Age stories. But F it. It's our show. Like, we can do what we want to with it. And they're funny and they're hilarious, and we enjoy it, and they're shorter. That's what we're doing again here now. But this is what I have for you today, Mike, is specifically another Silver Age tale, and it was a story that was recommended to us.
Okay.
We talked about it by Keith.
Great.
He gave me 2 issues.
Hello, Keith.
Now, I was going to cover both issues
Make
in
that your
one.
ringtone. That would be cool.
Hello,
Keith. Hello, Keith.
Please
That's
don't.
what it does in the postal service. You're just in line at the post office. Hello, Keith.
Yeah.
Hello, Keith.
Everybody's going to love that. But it was 2 issues, and he presented them to me and told me like the significance of each one. And we're going to cover those the next 2 weeks then. Instead of squeezing them both into one, we'll just do like we do with the usual. We'll have a story this week and a story next week, but it will both involve. So it's kind of a primer. You'll be ready to go next week.
I love it.
What we are looking at today, Mike, is a story from House of Mystery, number 156. Now, House of Mystery, this comes to us. This was printed in January.
This is why you said rotary dial.
Exactly.
I got you. Okay. I'm following.
I try to leave breadcrumbs, trails like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That works maybe. But this is from January of 1966, and this is House of Mystery, number 56 is the issue. Now, House of Mystery was a series of comics that, if I'm remembering right, it just kind of like different stories were in it. It was like an anthology series that kind of ran for a good while at DC. Here it is. It ran from 51 to 83, 321 issues, but it was an anthology series, and it would have certain recurring feature stories. This is where Martian Manhunter was kind of in here, and also the story that we are about to cover, or the hero we're about to cover.
Are we covering Robby Reed?
We are covering Robby Reed.
Fantastic.
And we are covering Dial H for Hero.
This is kind of genius. If it works out the way that I think it is purported to here, it's kind of genius because you got a kid who, as long as he's got his little rotary dial thing, he can turn into whatever hero he wants.
In a way.
Yeah.
In a way. It works.
Okay.
And I'll explain it to you.
I like the Commenteer. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't know about Giant Boy, but all right.
So
maybe workshop that name a little more.
Well, so he was a boy and he's giant. I mean,
I'm a giant boy.
Let's go.
Hello, Keith.
No, I'm giant boy. Let's go ahead and get into the very first one of Dial H for Hero.
Yeah.
Which it kind of sets the scene here. Like you see Giant Boy there, and it
see
tells you
Giant
in
Boy
this
there.
issue we get not 1, not 2, but 3 different heroes.
And I see on his chest a big
GB.
I'm reading the B first.
A BG.
You know,
big giant or boy giant.
he's
I guess
a big boy giant.
He could
big boy giant.
Boy giant doesn't strike the same amount of fear though as Giant Boy does, right?
Really?
Do you think
Is
Boy
it like
Giant's
being
better?
attacked by a million babies or one giant baby? Is it that kind of thing?
Maybe boy giant, giant boy.
Boy giant,
It's
giant boy.
It's not great either way. It's kind of like
Sounds creepy when you say giant boy.
It's kind of like a praying mantis man who is a villain of Blue Beetle, whose costume. No, his costume is that of a grasshopper. Like
yeah, you should
don't
just
really
be
get that at
praying
some point in
mantis or the
time.
grasshopper. Yeah.
So we are introduced.
Oh, boy, look at
first
that
of all,
robot.
we're in Littleville. That is our setting for this.
Okay.
Well, I say first of all, let me go back to the beginning of this because I like to give credit. We're covering Dial H for Hero, which was written by Dave Wood, pencil and inks by Jim Mooney, and the editor at the time was Jack Schiff. Now back to our story here. So we're in Littleville.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Brought to you by Pizza. We're in Littleville, and we're
Don't
introduced
bite your pizza like a chump.
to Robby Reed and his grandfather, and they're out doing yard work. And I'm assuming this is a neighbor lady because he just calls her Miss Millie.
Oh,
but
Miss
she
Millie.
comes in and calls like, "Hey, sandwiches are ready." It's just very wholesome, just like it's in the 60s, but I think like Pleasantville, like 1950s.
Is that his
just
grandfather or his dad?
that's his grandpa.
Okay.
So Robby lives with his grandpa.
I think his grandpa and Miss Millie might have a thing.
They might. We don't know. That's never given to us. Also, this is a DC book. I was going to say there's Millie the Model, but that was Marvel before.
Millie the Model?
Millie the Model is what Stan Lee wrote before we got like the Fantastic Four and all that.
Oh,
like in
this
the
is a whole
50s.
thing that I'll have to know about. Okay.
Well,
All
we'll
right.
get into all
Great.
that. Millie the Model lasted for a while. Kind of just like Patsy Cline. You know Hellcat, Patsy Cline? She started off as just like a romance comic kind of before they turned her into a hero. But anyway.
Patsy Cline?
Not Patsy Cline. Patsy Cline's the country singer.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, my
I'm very
goodness.
confused at this point. I'm like, he's making
Hold on.
music. She's got a cartoon book. How about that?
Patsy Walker.
That's what people who are 85 years old call it. Cartoon book.
Cartoon book.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's when you run out of words, kids.
is.
You just
So-
go, cartoon book. I don't know.
But we find out that Robby is a very smart boy.
Yeah.
He has like his own lab that he goes and he tinkers in. I guess that's just back behind his grandpa's house.
Sure.
But his friends come over and they're like, "Robby, quit being such a nerd. Come on, let's go race our soapboxes."
Yeah.
Right? And so
nerds don't race soapboxes.
Soapbox racers.
No, nobody.
And so they all take their soapboxes and they're going to go down the hill and race.
It just pans over and there's a bunch of literal nerds just in boxes that say like Dove on the side of them or something. Yeah, we don't do what the nerds do. We're soapbox racers.
I like that. But they come across a giant robot that is attacking the Armor Chemical Company.
That's an issue.
Here's one thing that I also found out that you're going to hear a lot. He has a catchphrase.
Okay.
He yells this a lot, or an exclamation. It's Sakamaji is how I'm going to say it. It's S-O-C-K-A-M-A-G-E.
Does that mean something?
I looked it up. I think it's a nonsense word.
Sakamaji.
Unless somebody's going to correct me and be like, Zach, you were saying something very awful.
Zach, you racist. You said Sakamaji.
But for this whole episode, it's going to happen until I'm corrected and we'll fix it.
Wow.
But
okay.
He says Sakamaji. Mike, I kid you not. I feel like it is at least once a page. Once a page, he says Sakamaji. But in this one, he's like, oh, that's a machine of some kind that's battering the Armor Chemical plant. And look at the emblem. Thor's hammer, it's a weapon from Thunderbolt.
Oh.
Thunderbolt is an evil weapons company in this.
Okay.
Remember, we're DC on this for House
Initiative.
Yeah.
I got
so it's not like Thor,
sure.
Don't think.
Sure.
But they decide, we better get away from this. Because Robby explains to him what Thunderbolt is. He's like, they've got all kinds of fantastic weapons and a secret hideout, which the FBI hasn't been able to locate, which I don't know how a 10-year-old kid knows this, but he's
And the FBI doesn't?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's like, if I were big enough to tackle him, but he's like, Robby, like, guys, this machine's heading towards us. Like, we got to get away. And so they start running. Go ahead.
Fledgling government startup, the FBI at this point.
Just a little bit. They haven't been able to get it together.
They just say, well, if we could get some funding, boys, we could really crack a case.
Something. So as the machine kind of like chases after the kids, the two of them run away. Oh, Bart and the other kid, whose name it doesn't say. Bart and the other kid. But
Bart and Bart too.
Robby falls and he plummets down as the ground underneath him like gives way underneath.
Yeah. Look at him
he
go.
He falls into kind of this crevasse, I guess is way. Crevasse? How do you say it?
Yeah. Sure.
It says, and he comes through, he's like, I'm alive. Wow, like I hope that never happens again. Yeah, I hope I don't fall into a pit ever. That's the first thing I think of. Whew, hope that never happens again. But he notices this strange, like illuminating thing at the end of this tunnel of the cave that he's fallen down into. And he goes and he picks it up, and of course he's like, Sakamaji.
Sakamaji.
Looks like a dial made from a peculiar alloy with a strange inscription on it. And he picks, and it's just like a rotary dial of like an old rotary telephone.
Did it come from space?
We
don't know yet. All right.
I'm telling you, in the issues I have read, I don't know.
Really? Still don't know?
Well, I mean, I'm sure like they cover it some. He does say, he mentions, where's it at? He goes, so he deciphers all of this.
Why does he start saying Sakamaji? I don't get that.
I don't know, Mike. I couldn't figure it out,
so
but he
weird.
says it all the time. Oh, be prepared for it to happen 8 more times. Huh. So as he's looking through and he's trying to decipher, like he's a very smart kid, right? Nerd, as we have established.
Yeah.
And he's trying to decipher the code on the dial.
Poor nerds.
But he says it himself. He's like, I've got enough clues to figure out these signs. They seem to be letters of an alphabet, but of no known language in our civilization. This gadget must have somehow come from another world, a mysterious dimension. That's all he says. So that's where it comes from.
Well, it isn't a cave.
Well, he deciphers that if he dials HERO, something will happen.
What would make him do that?
Right? Well, because that's what he deciphers from the dial. So he
I
dials
see. Okay.
hero after he's decoded. Oh, Sakamaji.
Sakamaji, Bee Gees behind me.
That's twice on one page.
Sakamaji.
Bee Gees behind me. He turns into the boy giant. And he's like, well, I've become a giant and in a uniform too.
Oh,
wow,
boy.
I sure feel strong. That alien dial must have somehow kind of given me magic powers. Well, about that time, as he's kind of discovering this, he hears on the radio in his lab there that there is a plane that has lost, where is it at? Flight number 101 out of Littleville reports engine trouble. So it's going to crash land, and he figures, well, Sakamaji. I can fly through the air like a bird. Now maybe I can help those folks on that plane.
Just real quick, the Urban Dictionary
I don't think the Urban Dictionary is right.
Defines Sakamaji as a strangely disturbing yet exotic dance move where you pretend to have an organ while holding your big toes.
Yeah, I think that's just completely.
I think it's supposed to say orgasm, number one, but it says organ.
Yeah.
He did the Sakamaji and got arrested. was the example of using
I don't
Sakamaji.
think that's
you don't think it's it?
I don't think that's
Okay.
it. I think honestly, it's at the time. I think it's just a made up word. That he's
Okay.
just like,
I was-
like holy folding lawn chairs. Except Robby Reed's is Sakamaji.
It is what'd they say it is?
Riveting.
Robbie, no.
So, well, while you look that
Sorry,
up,
hang on.
so,
No, wait. Expression of delighted surprise.
there we go.
That's it.
Okay.
Delighted
That
surprise.
sounds so delighted.
Sakamaji.
Yeah. Well, Giant Boy.
Oh, Giant Boy.
He saves this plane, right?
Yeah.
He uses his flying skills to come in and kind of help it land. And
I mean, how big is he?
he's a giant, Mike.
He's
That's why
really not, though,
he's
right?
Giant Boy.
Because, I mean, like, he couldn't just grab the plane out of the sky. He had to fly up there and grab it.
Yeah, but I mean, it landed on anyway. He's pretty. I mean, he's a.
I want to debate how big this boy is.
He's not really giant. Here's the thing. He's probably like
Medium boy.
He's probably 6'2" at best.
Yeah. Okay.
But compared to Robby,
I guess compared to where he started, sure.
Yeah. So he saves the plane, and they're all happy that they're
His
not
colon
dead.
comes out. Look at that.
Whoa, yeah. No, but then he's
bottom.
like, well, now that I'm big, I should go ahead and go battle that giant robot from the
Not
floor.
stinking thinking.
And so he does that. He goes and he like rips one of the tentacles off, and he beats the robot senseless.
Beat the hell out of
And
that
then
robot.
like, when the police get here, they'll find these two thunderless bolts, is what he says, as the guys that were in the
Oh,
machine are kind
goodness.
of thrown out. So he leaves them there for the cops. And as he's getting ready to leave, two men come out of the. Oh, because that's the thing. I'm sorry. He didn't go back to defeat the other monster. The monster who had who had attacked the armor. The armor chemical plant was now fighting and attacking the Marlboro chemical plant.
Marlboro.
Marlboro, like the cigarettes.
Marlboro.
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 Marlboro. Did I say that right?
Sakamoji.
Marlboro. Sakamaji.
Sakamaji.
So, these two men run out, and they're essentially the owners of the chemical plant.
What's his kid's name again?
Robby Reed.
Robbie. Okay.
Not to be confused with Bobby.
Bobby Reed.
I don't know who Bobby Reed is.
It's a kid I went to school with.
Did you?
Yeah.
What is the quote?
Had an extra foot.
Can you give me the quote? You don't have to say anything else. It's the one
Yeah, I
that
know.
makes me.
I know. I am developing powerful muscles that enable me to sit for 7 full hours without tiring.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kid in my elementary school came up with that. Yeah.
One of many, though.
Yep.
He was
One
a
of many.
wise.
It was a whole page full.
He was
Yeah.
a wise man, but that is the one that we will just have Mike quote lines of wisdom.
He was
to
a
us
giant
randomly.
boy.
So the owners of these chemical plants come out and they're like, "Thank you, Giant Boy, for rescuing our
Thank
chemical
you,
plants."
giant boy.
Thank you, Giant Boy. But they're like, we just don't know why the thunderbolts are attacking us. Like, we're trying to figure it out. But
Yeah, what up?
thankfully, you were able to stop him. But Armor goes, "Who could be behind such an operation, Armor? Like, those henchmen won't talk. I can't sustain a loss like this." Marlboro is saying this.
Marlboro and armor. So
Hot dogs and cigarettes.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's just me, but I think I would point at that big talking fish over there. Terry the tuna or whatever his name is.
Charlie?
Charlie. There we go.
Charlie the tuna?
Well, you got armor. You got Marlboro. Maybe he's just going after these big companies.
Maybe. It's all about Charlie. So, Charlie Tuna. So,
Charlie bit
who's
my tuna.
also the
Communist.
name of one of my favorite. You're not a big hip hop. You know Jurassic 5?
Yeah, I know Jurassic.
Yeah, Charlie Tuna is one of the members of Jurassic 5.
All right.
He's my favorite
Smells
member
funny.
of Jurassic 5. Anyway, I didn't know where you were going with that, but yeah, it is just like they
I'm just saying armor
stole.
and Marlboro. It wasn't a good joke. It was just there.
No, it is like they stole.
Remember how much you paid for these jokes, folks.
Not much. Not
Yeah,
much.
You didn't pay much.
But Marlboro comes out. I was just saying it is like they're just basing them all off just like
Yeah, sure.
I can't think
Companies.
at the time.
Yeah.
Armor, Marlboro,
Well, literally
whatever they
using
can.
their
Yeah,
names,
it's just
yeah.
like but we're reusing it.
Sure.
Here's the thing: a last name can work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But so Mr. Marlboro tells Mr. Armor, my company can't sustain like a loss like another attack from the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Like yours can. You guys are set, but we kind of have some issues, and so we can't necessarily deal with this. And Armor tells him, "Steady, Marlboro. We'll get to the bottom of this and find out who's attacking them." And Marlboro tells him, "I hope so, Armor. You have the financial resources to recoup, but I haven't." And Giant Boy's flying away, and he's just like, "All right, guys, I think she's just kind of it's weird that Mr. Marlboro keeps talking about how poor he is, but I'm going to, fly away." He's like, "We'll see if I can figure out what the Thunderbolts are up to."
Gosh, I wonder who did it.
Right?
Yeah.
Who do you think did it, Mike?
I think Giant Boy fucked up. I think is what happened.
he hired and forgot.
Yeah.
No. So it says, and as the costume hero once again takes to the sky, he leaves and he waves to all the kids as he goes by, and he gets back home.
He has to be like super uncomfortable in this giant body.
Well,
right?
here's the thing. How do you think he changes from a hero back to Robby Reed?
Does he dial again?
He does.
Okay.
But what would he dial? That you're actually
backwards.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go.
So once again, Robby dials this time, but letter he doesn't reverse. So OREH, and he turns back into Sakamaji. I'm myself again.
Sakamaji.
So I'm myself again.
So stupid.
And then like he's eating dinner, and his grandpa's like, "Oh man, you should have heard this giant boy kid showed up, and he saved a plane and rescued a ammunitions factory."
Yeah.
And Robbie's just like, "Man, I wish I could."
A cigarette.
Yeah, I wish I could tell Grandpa, but like he just wouldn't believe. So the next morning, he wakes up to hear that the
Kissed
Thunderbolts,
a pretty lady.
the Thunderbolts, are striking again.
It's all the things he gets to do as an adult.
As an adult, it's big, essentially.
That's right. I got. I heard he kissed a very pretty lady, and she liked it.
Of course she did, Robbie. And Grandpa just pats him on the head. But so then Robbie dials hero again to go attack Thunderbolts, and he's turned into the Cometeer.
So he doesn't have control over which one he turns into?
That's the thing. He has no control.
Okay.
Whoever he dials,
Okay.
it just turns him into a hero.
All right.
So he has to learn every time
Yeah.
about how these powers
But
work
I mean, it's
and stuff.
comic book, so it's got to be limited, right? So there's only like 3 or 4 he can turn into.
It goes for a while.
Really?
I can tell you we are covering the issue of this next for a specific reason, next one, because at some point in time he turns into an actual character too.
Oh,
it's
Sakamaji.
somebody. Well, no. I mean, like a hero that you know, though.
Yeah.
But it's somebody
I gotcha.
that DC had acquired.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, now he can turn into old new heroes too.
Captain
And so
Pants.
he started turning into actual superheroes too.
Sure.
So we'll cover that. That's next week. So
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
going to give away who he turns into.
Good enough. Yeah.
I know,
Love
but it'll be our first. It'll be our first.
Just stop lording that over me.
Anyway.
I know.
But I'm just saying, it'll be our first introduction of this character.
That's
character
cool.
that I think you would like us to dive into.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
yeah.
All right. Great.
So he turns into the Cometeer. How does he know he's the Cometeer? Well, because he's wearing a costume with a comet emblem on its chest.
Is he see-through? Is he made of ice? What is he?
It's like vapor.
He's a vapor boy.
And it's a C. It's not a comet emblem. I guess that makes it a comet. I don't know. So he decides to go.
But I'm
hunt
saying
down-
like the person that he turned into.
yeah, it's the
Are
Cometeer.
they see-through?
No, because they're able to shoot him with the ray there, so they can
Okay.
see him.
So he's just crystallized, maybe. Okay.
He's like a comet tail, essentially.
I get. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Got it.
He's like, I'm leaving a
Yep, that's
tail in my wake like a comet.
Very
Maybe
good.
when I use my new powers, to save the dam. And he does that. Like he uses his comet tail because they're leaving cracks in the dam. They're shooting at it. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like welding or like binding the cracks back together. So he's
Gotcha.
stopping the dam from cracking.
He's cauterizing the wounds.
Exactly.
basically.
But the Thunderbolts do shoot the Cometeer.
Uh-oh.
And as they go after him to try to once and for all end the Cometeer and be rid of this thing that's hassling them, Robbie decides I'll dial out real quick and turn back into my normal self. They won't suspect a kid, and so he does, and he dials hero real quick, and Thunderbolts drive by in that little cannon, and they're like, "That's only a kid picking berries. That human comet must be further on."
That happens all the time.
They're like, "Oh, no, that's not the hero we were chasing. That's just some kid picking berries."
By the way, that's a very poorly designed tank.
it is a very.
It looks like it's just going to tip over at any moment.
It does.
Like it hits a
does.
bump, and it's just going to be pointing up at the sky.
But as they go by, he waits and he's like, well, I'm going to have to try to, dial hero again. And he hopes that maybe he gets a hero this time whose power can chase after.
What if he just ate one of those berries and died?
Maybe. Who can use their power to
Turns into Screwhead Jones.
to help with him. Well, he dials hero this time and he becomes a human mole or mole man. Who has he has like a spinner on his head. He has
see
them on
it.
his fingers too.
I see it. They're ribbed for his pleasure.
Well, I wasn't making that joke. That's you. I was saying he looks like in the face. Does it not look like they were like, draw me Batman, but make his nose super long?
Yeah, I don't understand the long nose because it's
And
kind
the
of a
screw
space
on the
ghost.
head.
He's got a space ghost look
He
to
does. You're gonna have to look at Mole Man. He's the
But
most
then he's got a
interesting
big
one
old
out of
screw
them.
on his head
He
and
does.
everywhere else.
Screw Man was already taken.
You know the one he doesn't have.
Well,
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying.
So
is he wearing flippers?
He is wearing flippers too, but he's able to use like these drills to like drill underground, and he like uses the vibrations to follow the tank, and so he drills underground and follows the tank underground.
Okay.
Until he realizes, oh, now it's stopped. I must be under their hideout. And he
Oh shit! I'm a mole.
I'm a mole.
That's what he says.
And he drills up underneath their hideout, and he bursts through, and he is able to like encapsulate or like capture a lot of the Thunderbolt men in mud.
Yeah.
Just by like, coming up and it landing on them.
Sure.
But the main Thunderbolt guy, or leader of the Thunderbolt, gets away, and so Mole Man chases after him.
Is that how moles defend themselves? They just throw mud at people?
I thought they couldn't see anything.
I didn't think they could either.
And the leader, as he's running away from Mole Man, like presses a button and a door slams behind him. And Mole Man goes to touch it, and it just shocks Robby. And he's like, there's electricity. I can't go through there.
Moles and electricity do not mix.
But he's just like, I'll have to catch Mr. Thunder. Mr. Thunder is the leader of the Thunderbolts.
Mr. Thunder.
Some other time. At least I've captured some of the gang and managed to solve the mystery behind the sabotage. Oh, that is because he does figure out. You're absolutely right. Sorry. I should say what he's able to listen to and hear as he's about to tunnel up under is he hears some organization you've got, Mr. Thunder. You were supposed to inflict light damage on my chemical plant and take suspicion off me and then destroy Marlboro's, knock him out of business, and you failed. So,
yes, sir, Mr. Paul Mall.
Mr. Armor. Thank you, Mr. Tide. I'll fix those. So you were right. Like the other ammunitions or chemical owner hired the Thunderbolts to put the other one out of business.
Yeah.
But in doing so, they failed because Giant Boy showed up and foiled their plans there.
And then
but
turned
now
into a mole.
he says that, I was able to essentially capture some of the Thunderbolts here. Mm-hmm. And I know now what was happening with this ploy here. We can put Mr. Armor in jail for all of this too. Essentially, I'm going to have to tell the police all about that and give them the hideout locale, but I'm going to have to hunt down Mr. Thunder later. And then he turns back to Robby. And we end our issue where Robby, after Robby joins his grandfather, and his grandfather tells him, like, they smashed the Thunderbolts gang, Robby. Found their hideout, and it was all due to this mysterious hero called the Mole. Not Mole Man. Mole Man's better.
The Mole.
And he's like, the Mole. I wonder where all those superheroes are popping up from. And Robby's
probably those holes that the Mole left.
Gee, Gramp, guess we'll never know. But I bet you we'll be hearing from them again. Which, by the way to throw your trail off. He's like, I don't know where these heroes are coming from, but I bet you will see them show up again.
Yeah, have you seen my swanky phone?
Yeah. Or some other strange hero, just like them. Because when I dial again to go after Mr. Thunder, I won't really know what kind of hero I'll become. The end.
Yeah. Well,
more new strange heroes will be coming up in further issues, and some old ones will return. Let us know which heroes you like. Yeah, you like best.
The two
in
we
each
just
issue.
saw?
Well, yeah.
Are those the old ones?
That is the old ones. Because here,
Okay.
I'll show you. I'll just show you the.
Look at Robin being an idiot down there.
He's not.
Look at his
an
face.
Idiot. Why do you hate Robin so much?
I just don't like that kid.
I know. Because I'll show you the cover for next week, Mike, to get you excited.
Yeah.
Next week, when we dial H for hero, we will get an old hero from this issue. We're already going to get. It's 4 issues later, so we covered 156. Next week, we'll cover issue 160.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Really?
So, our old new hero
nice.
is Giant Boy coming back.
Oh, I was excited about King Candy.
We get a new hero in King Candy.
A new hero.
And we get a new old hero,
new hero
in Plastic
Giant
Man.
Boy.
No, in Plastic Man.
Oh. An old new hero in Giant Boy, a new old hero in Plastic Man.
Because DC had acquired the rights to Plastic Man by that time.
Yeah.
So they're able to bring him back through this. But
well, that's great.
We're going to dive into
Boy,
Plastic Man.
he looks just like you would think.
But you got to wait till next week for that. Yeah.
He's plain old Plastic Man.
There. Yep, he is. Well, all right. So
you know what Plastic Man never had to do?
What?
Get a rib removed.
That's... All right, we're going to end on that. That does it for our World's Finest Wednesday. As always, thank you guys for taking the time out to listen and to watch, to comment and to like and subscribe and just everything. We appreciate it very much. If you want to, feel free to email us any recommendations at brosfoesandheroes@gmail.com, or feel free to leave us any comments. Also, check out all the other great podcasts on the Rogue Media Network family of podcasts.
Suck emoji.
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Sure.
Is that
Rogue Media Network.
Sakamoji? I say Maji, you say emoji.
Well,
yeah.
you say emoji, I say emoji.
Yeah.
Let's call
All right.
the whole thing
Well,
off.
that does it for us. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Golly con sock emoji, golly con sock emoji.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.